Live from the Anaheim Convention Center, welcome back everybody to the ECS Season 2 Grand Finals. After 3 days of great Counter-Strike, we have gone from 8 teams down to just 2. Earlier today, we saw some very quick semifinal matches where Optic 2-0'd Envy and Astralis had a quick 2-0 over SK. In just a bit, we will have our Grand Finals headed underway between Astralis and Optic. But until then, let's head over to Redeye, Yanko, and Lurvis.
Thank you very much, Sue. Yes, it is time for the Grand Finals, of course, of ECS Season 2. It has been a very long season for all the teams and all the talent involved, but it is coming to an end this afternoon and this evening. Live from the Anaheim Convention Center Arena, and we are back in the analysis area. Welcome back, Tommy. All good?
You, sir. Yeah.
All good? Yeah, you had a little break, had a little nap or something?
Well, I sort of went in and out of sleep in between the maps, and then I just made sure to be around when the game actually gets started.
Yeah, it was a bit brutal, wasn't it, that last semi-final?
Yeah, but that's what was in the cards for SKAM. They just weren't ready for this event.
Do you feel, Janko, that we've actually got the best 2 teams in the world right now, in terms of form at least, in the Grand Final?
That's a tough one, Paul.
Yeah.
I would say so for Astralis, that's for sure. Optic, we haven't really seen them play against that many other top teams, right? So I think it is a fair thing to say. At the moment, they're probably the 2 teams in the best form.
Well, the big question is, can history repeat itself 8 days on from the previous matchup between these 2 in a Grand Final? Last time they came in, Astralis were the heavy favourites, everyone said. Optic shocked them, and they won. This time round, is it the same, do you feel?
It feels like this time they're an even heavier favourite. They're an even heavier favourite, right, looking at how they've played throughout the tournament. I mean, they didn't lose double digits to anyone yet on 4 maps, while Optic, on the other hand, sure, props to them for having the grit to grind some games out, but they've had a much more closer games coming up to the Grand Final.
Tommy, how do you assess Optic's run to the final? We often said when we look back before at some of the runs, they may have had it slightly easier, and maybe some of the teams weren't quite informed. Do you feel it's been better this time? Is it more justified?
Yeah, I mean, I thought they've had the most impressive run. I mean, obviously, you can talk me into Astralis beating everybody easily. I mean, no one just stood up to them yet. But at the same time, it almost feels like they haven't been tested here, even though they've just destroyed everybody in their path. Because SK wasn't really SK. Yeah, they beat Optic in the group stage. That was a best of 1. They beat FaZe, but that also didn't seem like a very competitive game. So everything has just gone their way. They haven't had to start a match yet and feel like what it feels to be losing and have to crawl back from that. So from that perspective, I think what Optic has done is they've basically proven the concept of how they play, and it seems to be working. They've proven they can constantly make it work.
And alongside that, they've been very resilient when they've been down, because they've had a couple of moments where they've looked a bit wobbly and a bit shaky, got to that magic North American number of 15 and not been able to get over the line. And actually, they've come through that. Even then, when they lose a map, having been 15-7 up, losing overtime, they've still come back and won the series. That shows a great resilience.
No, exactly. And once you've done that a couple of times, you know that even the next time you're in the situation, even if you start losing, you can look back to the previous time and say, okay, last time we lost this map from this big lead, doesn't matter, we won anyway. So in a way, that gives you much more confidence in a similar situation. Yeah.
I think Optic have proven to be a team that will not beat themselves, right?
That's a good way to put it.
They will not make fundamental mistakes during the game and lose the game because of it. You have to beat them on the server. You have to be better than them in order to win the game, which is not something you can say for every team. You know, a couple of teams are notorious for being able to beat themselves, so to speak. Mouse Sports is a name that comes to mind. Even Navi at times at Grand Finals. Remember Columbus Grand Final? They lose the first game in overtime against SK, then Luminosity, and they just fall apart after that. They're not even on the server for the second map. So that's definitely something that you want to have as a team, right? The ability to be very good at the fundamentals and to always be able to provide a challenge for your opponents.
Okay, plenty more to discuss, of course, before we get to the Grand Final itself. But first up, let's hear from those brilliant players of both teams.
I do feel that we'll get more credit if we do well here. I think we've already shown that we can compete.
They will look forward to a hot Astralis.
And I want to show everyone that we are really going to be a top team in the world.
Winning ECS will mean a lot. Obviously, we haven't won something big for almost 1.5 years, so it's been quite a while.
Beautiful trophy awaits the hands of Astralis or Optic. You've heard the players and you've heard what they've said all the way through this. Astralis have been solid, not spectacular when they've not needed to be. Then they've been spectacular when they wanted to be. They've played really well all the way through. And there's a key point in there. dupreeh said they are hot right now. Does that count for anything going into the final?
I think momentum has a lot to do with it, and throughout the tournament and on a particular day as well. I mean, both of these teams had very, very comfortable semifinals. So now you're, on one hand, yes, they've been playing really well today, but on the other hand, how big of a challenge did they have against them? Right now, obviously, in the grand final, it's going to be much more difficult to replicate that style of play, and I think we're going to have a much closer game than we had in the semifinals.
Okay, we are ready for our two teams to enter the arena. The most difficult challenge Astralis seem to have faced is actually walking in. Let's see if they can deal with this one. This is the grand final.
It is finally time, guys. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the ECS Season 2 Grand Finals! Our first team is a group of young Danes that have steadily improved since the addition of Glaive. They're hoping to take home the trophy after over a year. While facing them is a group of young North Americans that are hoping to show that they can continue riding the momentum from their E-League victory just last week. Please welcome on stage, Astralis and Optic!
Well, eager and ready, it would appear, for the Astralis. They weren't hanging around on that stage at all, were they? Straight into the booths, no messing around. Want to get down to business.
Of course, after that semi-final, they just want to ride that momentum in the grand final as well.
Yeah. Did you prefer playing one after the other before when you were playing on a regular basis? Did you like the whole, yeah, we're just going to go into the next game, or were you more like, actually, I want a bit more time, I want to study these guys, I want to figure out how we're going to play against them?
Well, it depends also how the game's been going for you. So in a situation like this where Astralis is super hot and they just destroyed SK, completely gave him no chance, then of course you want to play as soon as possible. You feel like you're the team that's hot, you're warmed up, Optic isn't as much, you would just want to keep going as soon as possible. And that's the thing about being hot, like Janko said, yeah, momentum matters, but the problem with momentum is sometimes it's one round loss and it's all gone. It's not sustainable.
Yeah.
It'll work as long as it works and it's gre't, but sometimes it disappears like that and it's gone.
Yeah, I mean, the weird thing is as well, we also talk about momentum within the game itself, you know, in terms of round-based momentum. And we did see a little bit of that against with Astralis in their first part of the semi-final, 10-1 up, and suddenly they let SK come right back at them. I think they won 9 or 10 rounds. I think probably up to 9, actually. I think they won 8 in a row, including the last 4 of the first half. They've got to be careful about that, because Optic are the kind of team that'll actually exploit that.
Absolutely. It's the complacency that we've been talking about, right? It's always like you would like to think that you have to have the presence of mind, even if you're like up 10-0, that make it 15-0, make it 16-0 if you can. But I mean, players are human beings. They get relaxed. They play a bit more recklessly, a bit lacking discipline perhaps, and then it can turn on you, especially on maps that are, you know, CT-sided, for example, and things like that. So I don't think that they will do that against Optic, simply because they are really, I think, out for revenge for that E-League finals, and they would want to make it, you know, 16-0 if possible.
Yeah. Seeing some highlights of both teams as they've made their way through the ECS Season 2 Grand Finals, through group stages, semis, and into the Grand Final, of course, to play each other for the second time in 8 days in the Grand Final of the South. And there's been plenty of highlights, Tommy, hasn't there? Plenty of lovely, sexy Counter-Strike that we like to see. Also, there has been some mistakes here and there as well from both teams. They've been the teams that have made the least amount of mistakes, and you'd hope that carries on in the Grand Final, because you wouldn't want it to come down to the fact that one team made lots of mistakes and the other team then won, would you? You'd want it to be because they played better.
No, of course, and it's exactly like Janko said. You want someone to win because they actually beat the other team. You don't want someone to win because the other team made a couple of silly mistakes that ended up costing them the game. So, I mean, Astralis is a team that, unfortunately, over the last couple of years, has had probably more such losses than anybody else.
I don't know if you saw this earlier.
Oh, I did.
You did? You
yeah,
saw
I
this?
did.
Yeah, I mean, it was absurd, wasn't it?
No,
Device with the double knife.
I know.
What do you say about that? What do you do against it?
I mean, when that happens to you, you literally just look at each other like you just laugh. Like in situations like that, I mean, I've never been double knifed, but
No.
I mean, something equally ridiculous has happened in my team, so we have literally just laughed about it. Just even in like big matches, you just look at each other like, is this real life? How did that happen?
He even picks up the kit. I just realized.
Yeah,
that.
on the way to the
Before
bomb.
second knife kill, he picks up the kit.
So you're
strafing as
basically
well.
going for the what we call the full Monty, which is 5 kills in the round, 2 knife kills, pick up of a kit, and a defuse. That's the full Monty. It's not very often that we see it, but Device decided he wanted to show it off. I mean, it's fantastic, bit of flair, and we love seeing that kind of stuff as well. Do you think we'll see it in the final, or are they going to be a bit more reserved?
I think he'll definitely try. I mean, not knifing people around, but I think we'll definitely see a confident Device coming into the grand final, and I think it's something that they need. They need the same type of a play style from him, to be aggressive, not to be afraid to go for those information plays. Even if he doesn't get a kill, he gets information, right, by having a forward position, and that will make it much easier for Astralis and for Glaive to make the right calls and to move the other players around.
We picked out a couple of players for your head-to-head. One of those is Device, having had a superb semi-final. The other one is NAF. Now, I mean, in essence, Tommy, we could have almost picked any single player from both sides to have featured in a head-to-head because they've all played well at some point in this tournament.
No, these are probably some of the better, well-rounded teams in the entire tournament. I mean, Stanislaw said in his interview on Agile TV after a game, I think earlier today, he basically said that he thinks some in-game leaders sacrifice their game a little too much. They go a little too far the other way, whereas he tries to at least keep it somewhat middle, or equal rather, in the way he spends time preparing for tournaments. He doesn't just only watch demos or think about tactics. He also plays himself, because he knows that even if he becomes the best in-game leader in terms of tactics, if he can get kills, he's not going to be helping his team that much. Meanwhile, Glaive, obviously, is actually a skilled player. He's doing very well on the fragging department as well.
Yeah, it's been fantastic, and again, showed his skills in that semi-final once more. In terms of the way that they're preparing now inside these booths and getting ready, nerves at all, Janko, do you think, or have they got past that at this point in the year?
I think they have. You could have argued that for Optic, right, because they're a young team. They haven't played that much on the big stage, right? But then now they have, as you pointed out, last 4 tournaments, 3 of them made the finals. So it is going to be more for Optic. They know themselves they're not going to have the same type of a route as they did in the grand finals at Celik. They know it's going to be more difficult this time around. So it's figuring out what adjustments can we make so that we still come out on top.
We're going to turn our attention to map vetoes in a moment. It's going to be very interesting. Do we end up going the same route that we saw 8 days ago, or are we going to get something different?
I hope not. I think that was a slight, I mean, not blunder by Astralis, but I think it should have went the other way for them, pretty much. They ended up playing most of Optic's maps anyway, and leaving like Cobble as in the pool. I don't think that was a good call.
Yeah, privately, and it's not that much of a secret, but I did speak to a couple of the Astralis players, and they did kind of say they kind of underestimated Optic a little bit and maybe thought they could have taken them on any maps. They're not going to do that this time, are they?
And we see it already in the veto process. They ban out Cobble and leave Cash in, and probably, boosted their confidence was boosted a little bit by the SK result. And I think in general, just realizing that Cash is a map where you can always improvise to an extent. You can get it to that A bomb site on the T side and then play the after plan. That's something that's fairly easy to do, and you can then try and use your individual players, their individual skills to win rounds even on the T side. Cobble, you need to be much more methodical and practiced.
And that's actually interesting to see that they actually don't pick Cash. Optic doesn't pick Cash. They go for Overpass, which is not a bad map by any means for Astralis.
No, I was going to say they'll be quite happy with that, won't it? It was almost like a free pick for them.
This is them getting the upper hand in the veto.
The thing is that the whole basically the E-League Grand Final to an extent was decided by Nicolai having the series of his life. It's not even exaggeration. It was by far the best series of his life. If he doesn't have that, if he has a very good series instead of the best ever, maybe that's enough to put Astralis over the top. So I mean, it's going to require quite a bit for them to repeat here.
What do you make of the second one? We've got train picked by Astralis.
Yeah, that's not a surprise.
I mean,
basically, they've been so strong on it. The only time losing to SK, who was the best team on the world on the map with their previous roster. So it's the map they won at T-League as well. We see that Optic Vetoes does too, and now Astralis pretty much gets to pick between Nuke and Cash. So I think they will go for Cash as a third map here. It is pretty 50-50 though. They go for Nuke.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, you're right. They were fine with either. I think they were quite clever with that
These
veto,
are like
weren't
the
they?
two maps that they would avoid playing after Cobble, right? It's like either Nuke or Cash. They kind of have to leave one of those two in the pool, so it's not in their hands, depending on the team they play, whether they will pick it.
But they're North American team. They're supposed to be good on Cash.
I actually think that Optic has a better chance to win. Astralis has a better chance to win 2-0 and 2-1. I think Optic is maybe. I don't want to say favored, but I think they have a better chance to win on Nuke than they even do on Overpass. I like Astralis better on Overpass than I like them on Nuke. Simply because of the sample size of what we've seen. We haven't seen them that much. And the one game that always sticks to mind is the G2 loss. I mean, they bounced back nicely in Oakland after that, but they just don't have the routine, much like Optic does, especially after today's games, even though they don't like the map.
Yeah, and also with Overpass, yes, Optic had such a dominating game against Henry, but Envy doesn't play the map. Astralis, on the other hand, do play it at E-League again. They beat the SK team on it, one of the best teams in the world on Overpass as well. So don't get baited by the fact that Optic had such a strong performance, thinking that that's a giving for them. The problem they have is, what else do they pick if not Overpass? Probably the only other map that they could have gone for is Cash. But it seems like they're wanted to play towards their own strengths rather than their opponent's weaknesses. And then probably Astralis beating SK on Cash also played a part in their thought process. And
the thing about Cash is it's actually a very skill-heavy map. People talk about Dust 2 as if that's like the ultimate pug map. I think Cash is right up there. Yeah. I think it's easily right up there. And yeah, Optic has been really hot. They've had multiple players, had great plays here and there throughout the tournament. But guess what? So has Astralis. Arguably, Astralis players have looked even better. And the series that Device has put together against SK, you don't want to be on the receiving end of that.
I thought you decided that Mirage was Dust 3.
Well, I mean, Mirage at least requires for you to play together. You can't get picks on the T side alone. You can't just run out of areas. That's not gonna work. Yeah. It's just a map that everybody's familiar with enough that you can do the tactical stuff together. But I feel like on Cash and Dust 2, you actually can just go alone and decide series or maps rather.
Now you know the maps, Janko. Key players, key positions. Who are we looking at here?
I feel like. I was talking a lot about Device, but yes, on Overpass he has more opportunities to be aggressive. On Train, I don't think he will go for plays like being aggressive all the way towards Ivy perhaps or BX. But I'm still going to go with him because the way that he's been playing recently on the AWP just does so much for his team, creates so much space. And I agree with Tommy with saying that these are the two teams that probably been equal the most throughout the roster, like everyone's been contributing, but I would single him out probably on the Astralis.
And Tommy, same question for you, but for Optic, who do you feel is going to be the key deciding factor on specific maps? You mentioned NAFLI earlier on in the sense of having a big game, but if they're not going to rely on him, where's it going to come from?
Well, I think mixwell is the guy on Optic that I think gets overlooked some of the time. I think he's a better player than many people give him credit for. I think he just doesn't have like the big fan base sort of, I think, that some of the other players do. And I think he's actually, like I said, underrated. He actually can challenge Device, I think. And I mean, you don't actually know whether Device still is fully there in big matches. Like if he starts losing a little bit, will that affect him? We don't know. Hasn't been happening lately. Hasn't been happening through most of 2016. But there's still been times where it seems like he struggled after a rough start. So, and that's something that mixwell can definitely help happen for Optic with this opping.
Yeah, and one of the things I always look forward to towards the end of the year is the HLTV Top 20. Who features in there out of these? Are all 10 considerations? Could they all be in there?
For Optic, I think it's a no because they just haven't been around for long enough. The problem is you have to weigh out the entire year. Yeah. And when you look back right now, you don't really remember the first part. So.
I don't even remember September, Tommy, let alone January.
Objectively, Olaf was the best player in the world for the first 3 or 4 months of the year. This guy's not happy with this ranking.
Silver Elite. You're a global elite in that, right?
Huh?
You're global elite,
I was global elite. Because they know.
Yeah.
They know. They know.
Yeah. But, I mean, in terms of Astralis, would you have all 5 in the top 20 in the world right now?
Top 20, right? If you look throughout the year or now based on form?
Yeah, I mean, through the year. It's over the year, isn't it?
Throughout the year, I would have Device up there for sure. About the rest of the players, I'm not sure if I would have anyone.
Really?
Watch it production. Watch it.
Be careful. Let's see.
Hey! Oh, they know. They know.
Lovely. Good. Well done. Well done. Was it ever in doubt?
Of course not.
No. Good.
No, because rank is everything that matters. ECS as is prediction with analysis.
Talking of predictions, I haven't really done much for you guys. I haven't put you on the spot at all this week.
And you don't need to start now either.
And now it ends. Now it ends. Because you have to. I would agree with you. At the start of the week, picking from any of these 8 teams to win the tournament almost impossible. And I made the comment earlier on that we joked about Duncan going 0-7 at E-League, but actually it's been impossible for an analyst over the last few months to figure anything out in terms of either match wins, who's going to win what group, who's going to go through what bracket, and who's going to win tournaments. We're down to just 2 though, guys. So really, it would be remiss of me if I didn't ask for a winner now. Choice of 2, 50-50. Do you want to get coins out or?
No, I don't.
Yeah, because like, no, I'm not playing. I'm not playing.
I would go with Astralis based on form, pretty much. And the problem that they have here is the Overpass is pretty much the only question mark, at least for me, right? I think they are just so hot at the moment that they will be able to take that map as well. But Optic is just that team that proves people wrong over and over again. You think that, oh yeah, Astralis is so hot coming into this. They had that amazing game against SK. Everything's on their side, and then Optic just beats them. Hey, why are you doing this to my younger brother? This is not fair.
Before it said Janko was global elite, now it's a silver 1.
Yeah.
Which one is it?
It's changed.
Top bands.
Yeah, there's Miss Harvey in there as well. Hi, Miss Harvey. Glad to have you here at ECS. She was global elite, can confirm.
I think that's across the tour.
She's carried me several times in some pub games, so I can definitely confirm that one as well. Yeah, we're just filling in because the players are just having the last couple of minutes before You got any final thoughts and comments before we head into the grand final?
I think that for Optic, for them to have a chance in this grand final, it's going to have a good start on Overpass, right? Because I fear that if Astralis gets off to a good start, they're going to ride the momentum from that second semi-final, and we're going to see almost a rerun of the game against SK.
Right. Tommy?
I think they need to win Overpass. I don't think they're going to be winning Train. I think it comes down to the decider then. And I think the way that they do it on Overpass is they need a good terrorist side start. So I think what they need to do is win the pistol, win one of the first 2 gun rounds, and then just keep breaking Astralis' money. And I think that's the way that you sort of start getting into Astralis' heads. And I think that's the only way you do it right now, unless they just start losing to themselves, essentially.
Yes, yeah, beating themselves. Yeah. I'm looking forward to the end of the year. Obviously, we're coming to the close of 2016. It's been a fantastic year for Counter-Strike, probably the best ever in history. We've had more tournaments than ever before, 36 Premier tournaments this time round, more than $11.4 million given out in prize money, which is astounding when you think of 1 year alone in one game. How big can it get in 2017? Or is it on that verge of being oversaturated? Where do you stand on that, Janko?
Well, in terms of oversaturation, I feel that you just look at the schedule and see how packed it is with all the online leagues as well. And I think that coming into 2017, we are going to see teams, skipping a league perhaps or skipping a tournament. Yeah, being more strategic because it's simply not viable. Teams are on the road all the time. They have no time, almost literally no time to practice. How are you going to improve? I mean, you have to do things on the fly, on the plane, like an 11-hour flight. Okay, boys, middle row, everyone come together. Everyone come together, I'm going to draw on the map, and this is what we want to do, right? I think that teams and players themselves are realizing that they're being stretched. You see VP already. VP is a team that's been leading the way in that type of thinking.
Yeah, it's very interesting. What are your thoughts? You've been around for a long time. You've seen busy years before, but never anything like this last 2 years.
No, of course not. This especially 2016 has been just ridiculous. I mean, on the calendar-wise, yeah, it's too busy, and I think players are going to have to sort of start just skipping events, and that's eventually going to force some kind of change within the events that are organizing all these tournaments. But at the same time, I don't think the scene or the amount of money being given out, I don't think that's going to go down. I think that's going to go up. I think it's only going to get concentrated to fewer events, which is ideally what you want. I think you want to cut down on some of the longer tournaments, perhaps, or you want to make some of the 6-day tournaments maybe 4 days only or 3 days only. You want to find a way to just cut some of the extra fat.
5 best of 3s in a day. Let's go.
And what you
looking forward to that? 20-hour days.
Start at 9, finish at 9.
Look, we're gonna start combining matches 2 at a time. We're gonna bring in Sean here and there. We're gonna put you in the trailer, put you to sleep.
You want to just bring in Machine and me get to co-host maybe? Like we get half the day each or something? Maybe they could do that.
No, it's just 2 different desks. Alex is over there, you're over here.
Okay.
And then that's about it. That's the only way you do it.
Okay. Thank you very much, Janko and Lurpis, of course. We will be hearing in between the maps and, of course, at the end of the series. Ladies and gentlemen, hold on to your chairs. The grand final is next. It's time to hand over to your commentary team. James and Dan, it's all yours.
Thank you very much, Paul. You took a breath, so I thought I'd start talking.
Yeah.
Why
this
not?
is going to be good. This is going to be good. We had a bunch of teams here that could have competed to get into the finals, but I think, of course, with the standing issues with SK and Data Times, that kind of the question mark, was then on those teams. Could they really get there? And I think with the form of Astralis, they've had an Optic. I mean, these are the two teams that definitely deserve to be here. They were just in a finals together, so I don't think we can really have any better setup than that.
Indeed. Interestingly, Optic won the pistol round, on the knife round rather, on Overpass, and they chose to start on the T side, something which you can see at the beginning of a best of 3. We will soon be into the game. The countdown has begun, so we'll see if Astralis... Ooh, that's interesting. We'll see if Astralis can defend. Everyone buying Kevlar on the Optic side. Glaive's going to be the defuse kit man, and he's got a smoke grenade as well.
Yeah, we've been seeing loads of grenades in recent pistol rounds, but not really this one. Just a single smoke and a decoy, and that is it. So a lot of Kevlars, a lot of fighting. Now, Optic will be making their way up A-long, kind of splitting the forces a little bit. Tarik is kind of charging forwards a little bit on the long side of things with the bomb, and we get a bit of an altercation by the B side of the map. So that's a nice pickup for, well, okay, that's also a nice pickup. Device is sniping with the USP. James, this cannot happen. What are they going to do now? NAF and Rush 2 versus 5 with Glocks at long range. Why do they keep... You think they learned their lesson? You can't just keep challenging Device at that range versus the USP. And now you got a quad face.
The Mandem.
The Mandem have arrived.
Good start for Astralis. Always good to win the pistol round on the CT side.
Just avoid Device on Overpass on pistol rounds before he knifes you.
Such patient play as well. If you have a player at that range with a USP who is willing to take those considered shots with the USP, you are very unfavored in that duel. Optic Gaming are going for the force buy. Tech 9 Deagles, bits and bobs, the odd flashbang. Not going for a fast play towards B immediately, but NAF and Stanislaw will head in that direction. This will be about damage for the Optic side, looking to make this as expensive for Astralis as possible. Astralis carrying $20,000 of equipment at the moment. Wierzba looking for the jumps again. He's seen jumps there before. We've seen some jack-in-the-box kills this tournament. 3 towards the B-bomb site now for Optic.
And NAF is going to be looking to try to open things up here with that Deagle. There he goes. Will somebody peek? He might only get one opportunity as soon as they spotted him. There's the spot. There's the shot. And perhaps no more opportunities for NAF. We'll have to see. He's going to be trying to make something happen. His team needs something. But NAF, I guess, is not the guy to do it. He's being shot down to 11 HP, so he's not going to be trying any longer. But there are more Deagles where that came from. mixwell and also Stanislaw are carrying the hand cannon, and it looks like they're all about to converge towards that B-bomb side. But someone should probably go back for the bomb. Looks like it's Tarik's job, and then the push can commence.
Yeah, Tarik's the bomb boy. So there's a Molotov on the Astralis side. Astralis is such a good team at having those late smoke grenades, making things very unfavorable when time is not on your side. Optic though, going through the monster tunnel. Glaive's going to get picked off, no response from the CTs just yet. Still time for Optic to get the bomb down. In the meantime, they've got 3 kills. Device at the back needs Kjaerbye to come in for help. If they can get the Molotov on the site, then maybe they can stop the bomb plant from coming in. There's the Molotov. It's going to force the plant away, and there's 10 seconds left. But it's Kjaerbye on his own. 2 more Ts remain. Can they get the bomb down? There's still fire. They still can't get the bomb down. Nicolai finally committing to it. Low health. That will allow Kjaerbye to get close. Tagging the Deagle, but can he get either of these kills? He's got 5 bullets left, but it won't be required. Optic win the force buy.
Oh my god, that should not have happened. That should not have happened. What a way to just shake Astralis, and especially after seeing the previous Overpass that they just played against SK. That is definitely what Optic need to do. It's basically the ideal start, and you can see Astralis are going to force buy back.
He couldn't see anything. It's a random kill.
Leaping through the flames. So triple UMP, couple AKs here for Optic Gaming on the offense, but Astralis, they force bought. They want to take the fight straight to Optic. They don't want to allow them to get the momentum. And Optic realized that this is a very likely eventuality after winning with the force buy. This is almost always the response, force buy back. But who will win the battle of the force buys?
Look how passive Optic are. Unlike this team, this is not the kind of style that's brought them such success, at least in the buy rounds, but it's a very good approach when they expect aggression from Astralis. They want Astralis to overextend. They want to abuse the range of those AKs. Lots of utility on the Optic side as well to use later on. You see those 3 UMPs. A loads of Molotovs. Where's the pop flash? You see Device, he's far enough that it's not going to pop him. 1 for 1 though. Optic will take that for now. Kjaerbye forced to move back. Astralis starting with 1 UMP in this round, unable to collect the gun from Tarik. Optic with time left, and indeed, just like when you have 1 AWP and you get a kill and rotate, Astralis are putting the numbers towards A.
It's really smart too, because Astralis realized with their positioning that it's pretty hard to do anything from where they are all bunched up together. There's no way for them to be effective, so they just have to go rotate, gamble on A. And because Optic have no presence on B and it's too late in the round to do that, they have to go A. This is perfect for Astralis. This is the setup they need, and now it just requires great individual skill here. Amazing headshots, but where are they? They're all on the Astralis side as they wipe out Optic, and that is Astralis there. They just outmaneuvered Optic completely.
Anything you can do. 4 players surviving. When Optic gets along, they've got 4 players with less than 25 HP. Sorry, 2 players with less than 25 HP. Those pistols become miniguns. And the forces will continue. Always fun when you see constant force buys because no team can get consecutive rounds. We'll see if Optic can steal one back. Problem is, Astralis are much better equipped now. We see Device with the AWP, AKs as well as M4s. They've got more AKs than M4s on the CT side, which makes life even worse for Optic. Looking for those close quarters engagements in the connector, but they will not be served any by the CTs. Passive positions being held by Astralis now with all the advantages.
Yeah, it'd be hard for Optic to bring this one back, you would think, but they will likely go to what was previously successful, which is seeing if they can kind of squeeze in a pick off with one of those deagles, perhaps. They've got a couple. That's definitely what they're very good at doing. But if that doesn't work, if you have an extended round where time starts to tick away, you opt to go for a set piece. They've set themselves up for that. They've got all the smoke grenades. Though this time they don't have any presence towards sewers and B in general on Monster. They actually are all around the toilets and A long here. So looks like they want to go for the wall of smokes play onto the A bomb site. Now, if they actually do kind of Dignitas style wall of smokes, the bomb could very well go down here, and they could have a solid chance of doing some serious damage.
We have a counter Molotov from Device on long, but it hasn't been good enough. And here we go, close quarters. Stanislaw taken down through the smoke, bombs delayed, but the plant should be coming in. Tarik slightly tagged, but now it's the retake situation for Astralis. They have 1 kit onto Zipex, so they need to bear in mind what happens to that should he go down. The Deagle's raining off shots. Down goes Kjaerbye, Rush goes down in the meantime. The rest are cleaned up very quickly indeed by Astralis. Just losing the 1 player. They will take that. Optic get the plant, some bonus money for them, but it's Astralis who get that consecutive round, which should mean Eco-Town for Optic.
Yeah, it's got to go for the Eco now, but I say, the bomb plant was definitely quite nice, and I love it when a team has multiple plans. You can see they bring themselves this strategy where it's like, okay, we can play for picks. If it doesn't work out, we're not going to overcommit. We are going to understand the limitations of this and at least guarantee ourselves a bomb plant as best we can. And that's one thing that Optic are very good is understanding how far they can take certain plays. They don't ever stretch things and try to overextend too much. Now, it's going to be a much more difficult round, and a bit of aggression from Astralis could make this quite explosive to begin with.
Glaive shouldn't stand his ground too long in this position because, of course, there are advantages for his side. Down to the Deagle now, but that might be good. Will he escape? We've got Stanislaw trying to do some damage to Astralis, but indeed Glaive has managed to get out of there. Device picking off Stanislaw, leaving that fly alone. That's a nothing round for Optic. Didn't invest much, not a big deal. No damage done to Astralis though. 4-1. Optic coming in for the buy. 5 AKs coming out for the T side. They've got $50 in the bank between 5 players after this buy. $50 down.
That's not a lot of dollars, James.
It's 50. That's what it is.
You can buy a decoy with that, and that's about it. Yeah, it's a great start now for Astralis. They're starting to build that bank, and with the AKs, we're going to start to see a default from Optic. And it's quite interesting that Astralis aren't actually using Device too aggressively early on, and I think that's a good approach. You want to kind of more so feel as to how the Optic side want to play those T rounds. Just get a feeling for what kind of pace do they like, what kind of defaults will they be favoring against us this time, instead of just taking a blind aggression. You want to see what they are going to be up to first. So I like the more passive approach here from Astralis, so they can feel them out in that way. But now we get a bit of an information play from dupreeh. Just a pop flash. Just a bit of a look into the sewers area. Doesn't see much though.
Very passive start from Optic. Device has support on long from Kjaerbye, should it be required. Short B, of course, is a very good area to hold on to. Makes life a lot harder for Optic, and if Astralis can keep a player there, they'll have a lot of information with regards to rotations from the T side. As time runs out for Optic, certain rotations become less likely. Mixwell asking questions towards Monster, but could it be a fake? Kjaerbye's pushing toilets now. These Optic players could be in trouble. Yeah, oh my god, what's happened? 3 headshots!
Yeah, the positioning did not work out there. Kjærbye's position was amazing. And Optic Gaming had no idea what was going on. Stanislaw just spinning around like, what do I do? Where are the CTs? Kjærbye can be anywhere basically at this point. So Stanislaw, all he can do really now is to get some damage and maybe get a couple one-on-ones, win those, get rid of some weapons here on Astralis. Let's see if he can do it. He's getting close now to the bomb site. And Kjærbye's essentially just making sure that he doesn't rotate back towards the B-bomb site. And they have no idea where he is in this point. It's probably not worth peeking, so keep yourself alive.
Look at the money on Astralis. They are all north of $5,000, some very close to 10.
Oh man.
Just a 1 round for Optic, heading towards maximum loss bonus. But again, the implications of the cash in Astralis' bank bodes well for them. 1 AK onto Stanislaw. And a bunch of deagles onto the remainder of Optic. They seem pretty good at winning in crap situations. Will this be another opportunity? Device looking for the AWP shot, but they know better than that. Pot shots being taken by the deagle as well of Tarik.
There's a lot for Optic to get done in a round like this. With the AK and the deagles, there's a lot of picking potential. And especially with the Molotov, there's only one, but there is potential with that to try to remove a CT from a position to then get him into the open for a pick-off. So Optic are a team that are very tactical, so that we might expect something similar to that. But they are taking it very slowly again. It's very interesting how Optic really want to get the early round advantages by capitalizing on early aggression from Astralis. But Astralis aren't really giving it to them just yet because playing passively is working.
Kjaerbye may not be able to escape this position if he can't kill. Rush has rotated towards long in reaction to those shots. You see him playing the off angle now, looking to take Kjaerbye by surprise. Kjaerbye spots him though. Lovely tapping from him. Worth noting that's such an important update to the game. Great hold from dupreeh. Bomb spotted as well. Not that many T's left. Double peek coming in from Stanislaw of that AK, but they're both quite heavily tagged. So again, damage may be minimal for Optic Gaming in this round. dupreeh gets his next kill on short. That's the AK gone. Nicolai wants to go in that direction. And Molotov will be there for a while. So again, just 1 kill for Optic in this round. That wall is being mounted by Astralis at the moment, so you might need to build a bigger one.
So this is going to be tough now for Optic to get back in this one, just again because Astralis have yet to show any aggression, and we know that Device is very capable of bringing the AWP into forward positions and then wrecking people. So that could be a potential issue, and it's interesting too because Astralis could just say we're going to just keep doing the same thing, or they could try to say we're expecting an adaptation from Optic, so we're going to try to get ahead of that by trying to throw them off with an aggression first. But still pretty passive, and a difference from Optic's default here, we're seeing them go straight for the sewers control. Bot flashed in though for dupreeh, looking to get some damage and get some information too. Saw 2 players. Tarik wants to just take him down, and that's exactly what he's going to do. Nice opening here coming in for the Optic side. Make that 2 in fact as Device pushes long.
Kjaerbye in a forward position, but the bomb is still very passive towards the beginning of Connector and can easily get taken towards B with the numbers Optic have in Connector. That's 1 kill for Kjaerbye, but there are 3 more people in short B essentially. So it won't be good for too much, but it may slow down Optic and it may allow Astralis to reposition. Specs going towards the barrels. Pop flash off the pillar. Will it be good enough? That's why not flashed at all. The smoke in fact. 1 for 1. Traded immediately. 3 players now for Optic on the site. Glaive with a lovely angle denying the plant, but it's still time for Optic to come back to this. 2 kills for him. That's the 1 versus 1 through the smoke. That's disgusting. That is gross. 7 to 1. Before the beginning of that round, Astralis had lost 4 players in 5 rounds. They got catch to rebuy here.
I absolutely love that round from Astralis. I mean, even though they went down to a 3 versus 4 situation, you had Kjærbye as the guy on the flank. He gets that pick off, and then essentially He's blocking Optic from going to A, and he realizes this, so he goes to the gamble, rotates immediately all the way around to B to have the bodies there. And that position we saw Glaive in, I've seen him do that so many times, just standing on the smoke. It's a very good way to counter those set smokes that we often see on the B takes from the terrace sides. And it might be something to stop doing, actually, because of the level of effect we're seeing players like Glaive play from that position with. So we get the tactical timeout. Optic definitely need a bit of a breather here just to figure out how to attack this situation, because Astralis, it's 7-1. It doesn't look like it's going to slow down anytime soon.
6-round lead for Astralis. Just a reminder, there is no restriction to coach communication this year, at the very least, in ECS. No knee-jerk reaction to the major rules. Device, can he get up there fast enough? He can't! Very difficult situation, but fortunately for him, Nicolai, who engaged him, is the only person without a rifle. That could have been a lot worse for Astralis. One player starting this round with $13,000. Of course, money had to be spent, Glaive being the last man standing. Average is about $6,000 to rebuy on the CT side, so that money can disappear quite quickly, but Optic needs success.
And they're putting all of their chances in one place, which is the A-bomb sites. All their eggs in one basket for the time being. And they're just going to play contact here. They don't have many grenades. Optic would expect to see another wall of smokes from them. Claver's turned his attention to this site. Oh, Device! I thought he had it. Couldn't pull the trigger in time. Mixwell with the pick. That's going to start the push here for the Optic side. Kjærbye's going to flash through the smoke. Get himself a great angle there. Has to spray somebody down, but he gets nothing. Tarik denies him, as will Mixwell. Get a bit of a team kill coming in from Rush, but Glaive and Zipex answering the call right now, bringing it down to one player, and the bomb needs to be collected right now. NAF, he's going to realize, he's going to have his gut feeling that there is a very possible flank going on at the moment. And you can see dupreeh is lurking, just holding the flank in the most passive way possible.
He's in the back.
And waiting for NAF to make the move. NAF's going to be forced to pick up the bomb and plant it at this rate, but that said, now there's some movement from dupreeh.
10 seconds, Nicolai. His choices are being taken away from him. Zipex isn't close enough to stop the bomb plant, but dupreeh is. Bomb goes down just in time. That will perhaps help Optic get another buy-in. They're at maximum loss bonus, but once you spend that, it might not be enough. Bomb plant may take them over the line as far as buying goes, but it's another round. It's 8-1 in favour of Astralis. Astralis hell-bent on revenge, redemption, on victory. They won 2 of the 3 Face It Leagues last year. They want to get back to that reputation. Reputation lost, but not forgotten.
Yeah, the bomb plant is so cool because it means that they have $4,200. That means AKs and all the nades. You're not restricted in that sense. So that gives them the ability to play slower if they want to. But that said, they're going to be in with a fast pace towards sewers once again. We've seen this previously. But Astralis' defense just seems, I'm not going to say impenetrable, because it has been crushed in moments, but they've been so clutch bringing it back in every time. Everyone on Astralis seems to be so incredibly confident. You can see Tarik is the man to try to get the entry frag, to get things going here. The Optic side spots a slither of Zipex's shoulder. Now Rush will join him. NAF comes in as well. They're slowly pushing in for contact. And Astralis, they're not rotating yet either.
That's a bad miss. And it will cost them a second smoke again. Astralis notorious for those late smoke grenades, but they've had to throw their second last one just to fix that problem in short. We see Mixwell creeping through the monster tunnel, looking for another opening. Perfectly timed pop flash though from Zipex. That may give him other ideas, Mixwell, but he continues on. Optic are committing to the push. The bomb is in monster tunnel as well. So 2-man split, 2 men on either side. dupreeh gets information for a teammate. He buys time. Lovely from dupreeh with the headshot there. Running out of bullets, and he'll get taken down by Rush. Into the trade though from Device, leaving stanislaw alone versus 3. Shot picking coming in. Down goes Device. He's on fire though. He doesn't know where his last 2 CTs are. And Zipex from out of nowhere takes him down.
Yeah, I was thinking that wasn't looking good. Just sticking around by B forever. And Astralis looks so prepared for that. And even though they kept getting the information of the pressure, they never take it for granted. They play it patiently, they play it with confidence, they trust themselves to be able to hold down the bomb site. And you can see dupreeh just delivering an excellent double kill from the barrels. And Astralis right now are making Optic look easy. And Optic didn't get a bomb plant that time, so they can't properly buy here. They're going to have to go for a half buy instead because of not getting that bomb down.
It's another Optic Gaming timeout. How do we take a round over the line? You saw Tarik got himself in a great position. If there was a CT peeking from the water area, he was surely going to take one in the face. But the shadow of Zepex wasn't enough at the close range. 9-1. Not the start they wanted. Again, they're on home territory now for the most part. Got a crowd behind them, but they don't have the scores on the board. Tech9 play from Optic. Not going for a fast B approach, so we'll see if they have the tactics behind this purchase. Around the smoke now, Glaive's forward, so is the Vice. Things going well for Astralis once again. Another opportunity for them to just build money at their ease. Just the one kill on Stanislaw. Very hard fought for kill. The maximum loss bonus continues for Optic, but can they double their score to 2?
And the thing with Astralis right now is that, again, one of the reasons why it's so important that in this matchup that they haven't decided that they need to go aggressive to win rounds, and they're 10-1, so obviously that's been the case, is because normally you need to take those risks on the CT side, because if you allow the T side to get close to a bomb site without having any early frags, removing their grenades and so on, by forcing them to check spots or counter grenade you, they can just execute onto the site, and it's really hard to defend the A bomb site properly, and then they get post plant where they have huge advantages. But even with that, Optic aren't winning rounds somehow. So this is a really weird matchup from that perspective. And we get a 3-man sewers take from Astralis. So they are going for a risk, and this is a beautiful boost. I never see this, James.
This is Dirt McGirt.
That is disgusting.
NAF Lies shadow is spotted.
This is not right, James.
Ooh! Oh! Gave him a haircut. I need a haircut, not with an AK though. 3 Optic players towards long, so this 3-man stack isn't going to work out, and Astralis will need to rotate. Kjaerbye over towards A on his own at the moment, but Optic will still require time to clear out the toilets area, so despite the stack on B, Astralis know the clock, and they know that it's unlikely Optic will be able to capitalize on that if they are unawares. 49 seconds remain for Optic to continue their push. Nafly on the AWP. Again, we mentioned how many AWPers there are on Optic Gaming side.
Once again, back to the set piece on the A-bomb side. There's only it's actually 3 smokes and 3 molotovs, so just enough here for Optic to do a full-on set piece onto this bomb site, cut off the vision to the front of the sites, and force the CTs away with the molotovs. And oh, Kjaerbye! Is no one going to check this? Why is no one checking this spot? Kjaerbye getting... Oh, man, 3 from Kjaerbye! That is a problem. That is a big problem for Optic. No one checked the blind spot, and now NAF just jumps into the Vice.
Again, that comes down to Astralis deploying a re-smoke of long with 30 seconds left. Astralis are so good at holding onto smoke grenades. Optic have no choice because they've run the clock down and their timing has been ruined by that smoke. They have to run through the smoke, and that makes life easy for Kjaerbye, easy all day. 2 players over $10,000 for Astralis, 11-1, 11-1 over Optic. Optic, who bested them just over a week ago. Could the confidence be shaken if this continues? Are we going to see a 14-1 half?
I think it's really possible right now because Astralis aren't being pushed to any kind of limit. Astralis aren't they're not being tested. They can go so much further than this, and Optic just aren't getting there just yet. This is looking way too easy. Optic trying to get what they can done with this limited buy. It's going to be quite difficult. Another little setup hit from Astralis there with Kjaerbye on the boost. The Vice in the meantime will get a pick off elsewhere, leaving Optic now with 3 players and with no pick-offs, with no limited map control. And it's just going to come down to a massive individual performance from the man with the AK. That's mixwell. It's unlikely that one of these 2 players with Tech9s will get all that much done. It's mixwell's job to be the can opener.
The problem is for him, dupreeh was jumping on the bomb site and he saw them come through Connector. They know people are there already. And they're getting sprayed down, just not getting the frags. Not getting the frags for Optic. Again, complete wipeout, not a single player picked off. We are into round 14. Nafly's got 3 kills. Tarik's got 4 kills. Mixwell has 2 kills. Rush has 2 kills. they can't get the picks. We have the Krieg coming out onto NAF. Will that be the difference then?
But well, maybe. The thing is about this again is that again Astralis are playing pretty passively, and you can get picks when a team's taking risks or there, and a lot of teams have to do that against the other top level teams because you don't want to allow a team to just execute on a bomb site because that's very, very hard to stop a very well drilled execution. But that said, we do have a more forward positions than mixwell's. I have no idea what is going on there. Mixwell falls to nothing. Suicide, James.
Glaive was awarded $300 for the suicide. For those of you at home who are wondering, Stanislaw, can you get 1 kill in this round?
Yes.
Okay, challenge accepted. What more can he do? He has a lot of time on the clock here, but obviously this is a very unfavorable position, and he is being flanked in all directions. dupreeh's almost in T-spawn at this point. He does not need to pursue any further. He can just hold a super weird angle. We have Kjaerbye above Stanislaw now. He could even get knifed in this position, and he almost will. That's a massive blind spot. Death by paper cuts. That is a horrible existence in that round. 13-1.
Well, this is not how Optic probably expected this first map to go. Astralis must be loving it though. They haven't had to really change all that much. Now, moving forwards, again, we've got the AKs, we've got Tech9 and Galil, we've got some grenades. Optic, you know, what idea do they go to? They're in this position where nothing has worked. Nothing has worked. All the spots where they should be in an advantage, it just falls flat on its face. So where do you go as a team after that? I guess you go for perhaps a play straight into the B-bomb side.
You go for therapy, Dan. That's where you go. You go for therapy. You pay someone to listen to your problems, your issues. Oh, will it be a spray? Does he hear the footsteps? Does dupreeh hear the footsteps? There we go. Into the meat grinder. There you go. He requires to miss the rest of the B bomb site. Although there goes Zipex, but look at the bomb. The bomb is at the end of a red carpet, and that carpet is being trodden upon by Astralis with muddy boots. They're making a mess. They don't care. Not a good day for Optic right now. NAF Live 2 kills already, got most of his health intact. Minute on the clock. Stanislaw though, is he going for some kind of flank? He is checking every single corner. Look at the paranoia. They could be anywhere. They could be behind you, Stanislaw. Careful. This is such a slow approach that how much time will they have to pursue the bomb site?
Yeah. Oh, but this is where it pays off. This is where it pays off. Stanislaw creeps, and boom, there it is. Finds a frag onto device, and now that allows NAF to actually play off of Stanislaw. They can combine from multiple positions if they choose to, but they're going to go and play the trade game. Now there's 2 CTs versus 2 TC. Are they going to split or go together? It looks like they are going for the split now. And it's all about timing. It's all about coordination. It's all about the first one-on-one. B1 by NAF. He's got to pick up this kill. Stanislaw creeps. Oh, he finds the flick. Where's the trade? Where's the trade? NAF is far away. And that's enabling Kjærbye to reset it and picks up the kill. 14-1. An incredibly strong first half from Astralis on Overpass in this best-of-3 finals. This is the worst possible way you could ever start a finals. Optic, they've shown resilience though, James. I have every confidence that they can bring themselves back. Maybe it's going to be next to impossible on this map, but in the series, you can't count them out.
Well, there is there are a few things riding on the pistol rounds, such as game points for Astralis. So difficult times for Optic. It's hard to read the faces of the Optic Gaming side because that faces how they are at the beginning of the match and the end. All Kevlar and Optic looking for headshots with these USPs. mixwell wanting to force the aggression there, but we've got 4 men from Astralis in connector looking to burst out on the high ground, and mixwell could be taken by surprise. In the meantime, NAF trying to pick up device, he'll do that, but where's the bomb? mixwell forced to run forward. Can Astralis get on the bomb site now? They're kind of pinched between the CTs.
Yeah, this is really weird actually. There is nowhere else to go but onto the A-bomb site, and Optic know it. But it all comes down to hitting the shots in a pistol round, hitting those headshots. And Kjærbye's going to find himself an engagement rush there sitting in the bank. Kjærbye's got help there, he's got a trade fragger, so Rush has to be very careful. And in they go, trying to go for the challenges. Rush has bought some friends, there goes Tarik, picks up the kill as well onto Kjærbye. All of a sudden, Astralis are losing numbers. Just dupreeh left against 4. He has to waste to pull it out of the bag, but he can't. And that's going to be mixwell to defuse, the round for Optic. A very, very needed pistol round, but the road is very long.
as soon as Astralis end up in the middle of the sandwich, the round gets super weird for them. Opportunity for Optic. They finally double their score from 1 to 2, and now they have the monetary advantage, and maybe the advantage of the CT side. We'll have to see. The pressure will be great. Astralis, having planted the bomb, they have the AKs in the following rounds. Minimal investment. Pure P250s. No grenades. Just looking to maim the economy. Again, of course, Astralis are playing the long game. Only 2 rounds required versus the 14 of Optic. So to do some damage to the C2 economy and break them a bit later on. Nothing but rifles coming out from Optic. No AKs are in the next round. They need to survive in the numbers. They need a perfect round.
Yeah, they absolutely do. They also need to remember what it's like to frag people, James. It's been a while since they really got many frags. It's only Stanislaw really that's having any frags in this matchup. mixwell and Rush on 2 apiece. Not a good sight for them. But Tarik is going to pick himself up 1 and another one as well. As Charlotte slowly but surely open themselves up. They will be happily received. So a clean round for Optic. 4 frags there for Tarik. But now the AKs come into play and life starts to get a little bit tricky for Optic.
Still 2 players with 2 kills. Probably begging for those eco frags, but Stanislaw and Tarik denied them. So the uphill struggle for Optic begins here with the AKs being wielded from Astralis. Could be a faster round from Astralis with the limited utility they have. 4 flashbangs and 2 smoke grenades. mixwell stop a fast approach in connector. That's good because Astralis have a fast B split play through the connector area. That's part of their repertoire. For now, they've got a lurker towards B in Apex. 2 players in connector. Slowly clearing it out with the numbers. That can allow them to take stronger possession of short B. Sees Apex moving in there now. He will throw the flash as dupreeh will open the door. Very safe stuff. See many sloppy approach in that position from other teams, but that's quite a good one from Astralis. And they're trying to identify where these CTs might be playing.
And Optic are doing the right thing, I think, holding all the way back, because there's a lot of these engagements against 5 AKs with 3 FAMASs on ranges, on big ranges. You're not often going to be favored in those spots unless there's distraction, unless something weird is going on. So it makes sense to just play passively, force them close. And looks like Zipex is going to pick up 1 frag. But he is eliminated. It gets traded over by B. Astralis, they creep towards A. They don't care about B. In they go with the bomb. mixwell's there on the angle by Track. Gets himself a 1-on-1 against Glaive. That's the bomb down. And now there's really big problems here for Astralis. All they have left is Device in a 1-on-3.
Patiently waiting behind the flames, looking for these CTs to get a bit overzealous. Hot flash will allow him to extend his range. But again, Nicolai's in that trade position. Triple peek coming out from Optic. And maybe they will really get going. Again, we've seen such consistency from players such as Rush on Optic Gaming, and maybe that consistency will come back on the CT side. mixwell doing great work around the truck, staying alive, causing a nuisance. Always good to get shots through the smoke as well. Notices at angles. 10 rounds behind our Optic Gaming. Astralis back on the eco.
Yeah, once again, just a few Deagles and a couple B250s to play with. A single smoke on Zipex and a flashbang on Glaive. Seen much, you can get much out of a single flashbang. We'll have to see what Optic can do with this connector control, though. dupreeh's coming close with a Deagle. Oh! dupreeh! Always good for the Deagle. And there is one for him. Slowly impacting the numbers of Optic. But mixwell's found himself a good range to play with.
Gotta be careful with those pot shots, though. Tarik's in connector for the time being, but he's making some noise. He might be heard. There's a play to his right. He may want to protect the dropped weapon as well. mixwell picked off elsewhere. That could cause a rotation from the CTs, but Kjaerbye's just charging straight in. He knows what the CTs are doing, and he gets a free plant.
That's amazing. That is amazing. He just knew. Lovely stuff. He's got himself the M4, of course, as well, that he picked up from the player that he fragged previously. And this actually becomes very winnable now for Optic, because to defuse this bomb is really difficult when the Ts are in those positions by Toilers. And Zipex is going for the flank as well. This has Astralis written all over it. Not like this. Optic, there's one frag for Rush. The defuse starts to come in for 3 seconds. 2. Can Device find it? Oh, he gets it in time, but everybody's dead. It should be all good. There's just enough time to get the defuse. Rush is going to pull it out, and defuse comes in, but that was not a round that should ever have gotten that close.
That was quite a scare for Optic. Quite a scare indeed. dupreeh always doing damage with the Deagle. Kjaerbye with the second shot there. But Optic prevail. 5 rounds on the board. Astralis though on the full buy. That bomb will come in handy for that bonus money. $800 per person. Lots of grenades and AWP. See what their play is. Tarik and mixwell with forward positions. Not shy of aggression towards this fountain position. But the smokes and flashes will ward them off. dupreeh and Kjaerbye very quick interconnector. Zipex again outside the Mons tunnel. And it seems they're going to go for that similar split into the short B position. Stanislaw, though, is forward, and if he takes a shot on Zipex there, he could get traded from the door. And there's dupreeh. Can he get the trade? 2-man spray down. It's a team kill.
Oh, man. Oh, that is not good. That is not good for Optic. 4 versus 3, Astralis have a load of time to try to play this advantage. Optic needs somebody to make a big play here. Mixwell's in a forward position. Mixwell has to be able to get something out of this. He's got to get a couple frags, something for Optic. Because if you let Astralis get to the bomb site, they're going to find ways to trade you. There's one from mixwell. They've discovered him now. How long can he hold them off for? Can he buy time for the rotation? The thing is, though, Astralis can still go back to B, so he's got everything to do alone.
Huge grenade from mixwell. Does Tarik see Kjaerbye? He's close. He's looking for mixwell to rotate out, but he's going to take one straight in the face from mixwell. The rotation coming in towards B. Now they know 2 are over towards A, but Tarik's on his way as well. Both teams reading each other. Off angle towards barrels, not good enough. The bomb site's retaken, but now the bomb is down. The device can't get the fatal connection. This is buying time for the rotation. These players are both untouched. Good damage to Tarik, but he needs more than that. 25 seconds left. He's going to reset the situation, or is he going to run away? No, he's committing to this. He's got an angle. He could get the bomb, but it's not going to be easy. It's completely exposed. 13 seconds, 12 seconds, and he may have to run away now because it's surely not recoverable.
Yeah, I love that he gave this a try because, again, Astralis have so many rounds in advantage of Optic at the moment that doing damage is amazing. Just getting the damage into their economy is just amazing. But he will save it, and his team have enough to go for a full buy behind it. So how is York going to be played this time by Stanislaw? Of course, we saw previously a aggression into sewers, and there is a timeout actually from Astralis to perhaps work out how they're going to use this next buy. Because again, they're the T side; they have all the freedom to roam about the map as they choose to do so. But 5 in a row from Optic. Optic's starting to feel a bit better, I'm sure.
Dan, we've had 1 T round 1 in this entire match so far. 1 T round, 4 diffuses. Elimination for days.
Yeah, the crazy thing with Optic's T side is they could never really get plants down, which is kind of nuts. They struggled to do that so much, even though Astralis gave them easy set piece setups in a lot of rounds. So Astralis, I mean, they've got so many options to go towards. They can go and try to experiment with pick-based play, very passive. They can just try to go in for a very fast contact play. There's a lot of stuff they haven't tried just yet. It's still early days on their T side, but again, they only need 2 rounds, which is absolutely insane, to be honest. And they're home free.
Slow start from Astralis. Rush over towards the B bomb site. It's been one of the stars for the Astralis side recently. Stanislaw, though, doing great work for Optic in this game so far, despite the 6 rounds they have. Nice opening. Tarik playing close. Have to be careful, though. Can't risk it too much. He'll get picked off. It's going to cause a rotation. Now mixwell currently alone, having to cover long and the short toilet position. Could see some jumping peaks. And Device has time to look for a pick, to look for an additional pick.
Yeah,
Sees
you're
him
right.
growing in the crowds, and there it is. Almost inevitable.
Oh man, and Stanislaw misses the shot there. That was the shot, that was the surprise. device now. He's got all of his teammates rallying behind this pick. They don't have to go for it though. They just cleared out the sewers and the connector area, and you can see they're going to go back into that empty space. They know that Optic are stuck on the bomb sites. They know that Optic only have 3 left alive, and they saw a couple of them towards A. So into B they go. It's a free bomb plant basically here. Astralis have made a great call in this situation, and Kjærbye even gets himself an additional kill. This is going to be impossible. How on earth do Optic retake this?
There goes Nicolai. Stanislaw, $500 in the bank in a 1 versus 4. He has no choice but to hold on to his sniper rifle at this point. Rush tried to stop the plant from going down, pushed the balcony, but he got picked off with no kills. And almost inevitably, we have Astralis making their way to game points.
Yeah, that pick from Device was actually amazing. It's not easy to hit shots like that. You only get one opportunity. As soon as you're discovered on the angle, you're done. And that's why it's interesting, when Stanislaw missed the trade frag. The Device did not expect him to be there. If he hits that, who knows how this round goes. But can't even save the AWP into the next round. Oh man, they are really broke, James. They are really broke.
They got no money then. No money and lots of problems in this first map of the grand final here at the second season of ECS 2016. Pistols coming out for most players. Mixwell has enough for a rifle, the one rifle. Optic, one of the games, currently have a signature aggressive style. They will need nothing but aggression in this round if they are to hold on to what little they have in this first game. Stanislaw pushing the fountain area, that deep smoke. And this time, T's are behind it, but only the one. So this kind of forces Astralis towards the B bomb site. They have to wonder if there is a stack here. This may leave them stuck for a while. And indeed, most of Optic are on the high ground.
Yeah, moving into that B-bomb site now. Rush, oh no, Rush. Is he going to look in the right place at the right time? Here they come, all just creeping together. Rush is going to discover a lot of T's coming his way. He doesn't have any help. He's stuck on the 5-7. A bullet straight to the face, courtesy of the one dupreeh. Now Mixwell's going to turn his attention, and he has to do so much. There's 5 AKs. His 2 teammates only have 5-7s. They will be making their way in to help him soon, but this is surely too much to ask for. There's no utility either. Tarik with a quick frag. Trying to push the issue there into jungle, but there goes Mixwell. Stanislaw trying to do what he can. Oh, Zipex turns around and says, sit down. 16-6. Astralis with a very dominant first map of Overpass.
And Astralis with something to prove, and that's a great way to kick off the proceedings. I thought it was 50-50 going into this final, although I did favour Astralis from the beginning. So he's got off to a good start. Can they close it out though? Optic will have some time to breathe, some time to reflect, some time to figure out what went wrong there and how they get back to those peak performances. You heard Lukas say if they're not all playing to the best level that they can, then maybe Astralis could take this. Maybe that's true. A strong 1-0 in favour of Astralis, 10-round lead over Optic, 14-1/2. That's psychological warfare.
Yeah, the grand finals, that is hard to deal with. However, they will be, as you say, having a short break to refresh and moving into train, which is territory that Optic are more than familiar with.
Indeed, and that break's going to come now. So afterwards, we'll see the thoughts of the analysts. But first, a short break. They will see you back here in a few minutes.